ethos.
Welcome to your next simple step. I'm Paul Goldsmith. You got goals. Goals can be good. Goals, resolutions, intentions, whatever you call them, they sound good. But if you have too many, they can be overwhelming and actually counterproductive because you get overwhelmed and then you feel bad about not getting your own goals done. What if those goals could be simple? Well, that's the goal of this podcast. Try things one step at a time, the next simple step. And if you miss a step, that's okay. We learn as we go. I saw this quote the other day from Miles Davis. He said, if you hit a wrong note, it's the next note that you play that determines if it's good or bad. That's why he's a legend. You don't get down on yourself about missing a step. We try again. You don't have to do it all. Just do what's next. Let me ask you, what's next for you? There's a trick that I've learned in getting any goal done. I use the acronym R.E.S.T. It's got to be repeatable, something we can do more than once or twice. It's got to be enjoyable. You have to schedule it. We got to make time for it. And then if you want to exponentially increase your odds of making it an ongoing habit, you have to tell someone. The acronym is R.E.S.T. Repeatable, enjoyable, schedule it, and tell someone. Let's figure out what your next simple step is, shall we? We'll discuss a variety of topics over the coming episodes. And if you'd like me to address your individual challenge or opportunity and help discern for you what your next simple step is, please reach out. I'm at Paul J. Goldsmith on Instagram or Twitter. But for this first episode, I wanted to talk about something that really is the cornerstone of all the other things that we'll discuss, and that's taking care of yourself, your whole person. You're a human being, not a human doing. So if you haven't already today, just stop for a minute and breathe. Take 3 deep breaths and relax. On a regular basis, we have to get off the treadmill of life, turn off the automation that is your daily life, and ask yourself, what do I need? Of course, each of us needs to eat, sleep, and breathe just to survive. But in the last few years, I've discovered I was doing all 3 poorly. As it turns out, when you compromise one area, it affects the whole. If you're not eating well, it affects your sleeping. If you're not sleeping well, it can affect your breathing and so on. In our world of artificial intelligence and automation, it's imperative that we live more, let the machines and robots do more of the grind, and we be more intentional with our time. All these time-saving devices from email and microwaves and cars, and yet we're busier than ever in human history. What's going on? We're trying to do too much. My encouragement to you is do less, but better. Focus in on what's important for you to do and eliminate all of the busy work. Eliminate all of the things that are not serving you and your current goals. But to do that, it takes periods of reflection to stop down and actually get curious about the things that you're doing. Are you out of balance? Is your life out of alignment? If it is, that's okay. It happens. But the key is to get curious and iterate as you go, one step at a time. And as I mentioned, my health was out of alignment. I wasn't eating well or moving well or really sleeping well. I was so focused in on the grind of what I was doing and not taking care of my whole person. So if I may, I'd like to share with you what's worked for me. At 40, I feel the strongest, the healthiest, the most energized I've ever been. Let's just talk about one aspect of health. Health is not about looking a certain way, being a certain weight. It really is about feeling your very best. For me, that really started with dialing in my sleep. Maybe that's a challenge for you as well. And so if you want to be healthier than you are now, the best solution may just be the simplest one. For you, your next simple step toward being a healthier version of yourself just may be to take mom's advice once and for all and get enough sleep. More specifically, enough quality sleep. 1 in 3 American adults don't get enough sleep. And I suspect it's even higher than that if we look at things like quality. I know it sounds too simple to be true. Just look at your own sleep habits. How many hours on average each night are you asleep? If you don't know, that may be the next step is to get a sleep tracker. I use the Oura Ring, but there are lots of different devices that can tell you about your quality of sleep and duration. Once I started measuring not just my time laying down in bed, but the quality of my sleep, I was really surprised by the results. Different people require different amounts of sleep, but on average, most adults need at least 7 hours of sleep. Consistency is key here to have truly restorative sleep. For me, that means having to limit caffeine after 2 p.m. because, as it turns out, caffeine remains in our system for 6+ hours. And while you may be able to chug coffee before bed, like I could, and was quite proud of that fact, and then go right to sleep, you can't do that if you want to get quality deep sleep. It's essential that your nervous system truly gets rest. Same goes for having alcohol 3 to 4 hours before bed, because while alcohol may help you fall asleep, it also limits your rapid eye movement, or REM activity, which is necessary for your brain to lock in memories and the things you learned from that day, and also clean out toxins and lots of things happening while you sleep. Your mind never truly stops working. I'd encourage you to check out a TED Talk on YouTube by the sleep scientist Matt Walker. The video is called Sleep is Your Superpower. He is a true sleep scientist, so he can explain it much deeper than I can. I just want to maybe inspire you to take the next step in getting quality sleep, because it's so essential. There's reason to believe deep sleep not only helps us physically, but also slows cognitive decline as we get older and even offsets Alzheimer's and dementia. That hits especially close to home for me, as I lost my mom to dementia just a few years ago. Now, I don't know if there's anything that could have definitively slowed or prevented her from getting dementia, but I do know there are things that the science tells us can reduce the severity of things like Alzheimer's and dementia. None of us get to choose the number of days on Earth, but it does appear that you can have a massive effect on your quality of life while you are here, and sleep is a big part of that. Maybe you're good in the sleep department and there's something else. Whatever the next step is for your health, just remember, it's not a certain look or weight. There's a run coach I follow on Instagram. His name is Martinus Evans, and he's run 8 marathons, but doesn't own a single marathon shirt because they don't make them large enough for his 300-pound body. You can give him a follow yourself on Instagram. His handle is 300 pounds and running. He's actually on the cover of Running Magazine and encourages people to throw away the scale and just get moving. So for you, that may be your next simple step. But make sure you're getting enough sleep and enough movement during the day. Go for a walk or run at any pace that works for you, as long as you are getting the proper amount of movement. Whether it's quality of sleep or moving every day, a simple acronym to help you is REST. Whatever your next healthy step is, make it repeatable, enjoyable, schedule it, and tell someone. And if you'd like that someone to be me, I'd be honored to help encourage you. You can reach out on Twitter or Instagram. I'm Paul J. Goldsmith on both. Until next time, take your next simple step toward being the healthiest version of yourself. I'll talk to you soon.